all black. Find your home.
We hit Black 11.
I hit Black 11. That's the dragon.
Welcome back to Water Hose Drinkers. Today is July 29th. It is episode 50. It's been a little hiatus since we've done a podcast. We've done some interviews. But yeah, Cole,
Hey,
how are
what's
you?
up? I'm 4 hours north of where I'm usually recording because I have successfully moved to Tallahassee, Florida. We're running it back. So yeah, I've this has been a crazy summer. I graduated obviously, and finally
Finally.
after finally 8 years, I seven if you COVID year, we don't count COVID years, So 8 years, finally graduated and got a job offer, and what better place to be at than
Yeah,
where
you
the
you had
garnet.
a couple red shirt years in there and then the COVID year.
I hit the transfer portal hard before it was a transfer. I was really the grandfather of the transfer portal, if you really think about it. Four different schools, but yeah, it's the opportunity arose that I would come back to Tallahassee, and here I am. I'm still in the midst of moving all my stuff, but I finally got locked into a big job, and yeah, we're back. And Florida State games on Saturdays are going to be a lot easier when they're 2 blocks away than 4 hours.
Hey,
So
and
it'll be
you're a
good.
little bit closer to me, and you're a little bit closer to Statesboro.
I
So,
am hey, I'm a lot closer to you. We're gonna get some. Josh is finally gonna get to see me swing a club in real life.
yeah,
That's gonna be something a sight to see. But yeah, we're definitely gonna. We've been on a hiatus, but we're back for this one because college football is a month
right around
away,
the corner. Like
less
we
than a
talked
month.
about before the episode started, we got preseason football on Thursday.
Yeah.
So fired up for that. But, after this episode, we will be on another little hiatus because my wife's having a baby next week. So, we probably won't have another episode until after week one of college football, I would
Hmm.
imagine. So we'll kind of give like a little week one preview and a little season preview kind of on the tail end of this episode.
Yep.
But I will
Yeah, we'll get
say,
into it.
I've talked about getting this room set up. So, other side, I got some Georgia Southern stuff right here. That's me touching the banner right there, running out the team. We got We got Chipper Jones there. We got some master stuff there. So I got a wall right here to my left that I've got a Georgia Southern all white helmet that I'm waiting to win. When we win the conference championship this year, I want to get it signed by somebody. So,
Coach Helton, be a
I
good
mean,
signature to have.
yeah, I mean, definitely Coach Helton, but I mean, whoever's, somebody has a historic season, something like that, if I could swing the whole team, that'd be
That'd
sick.
be
But
sick. Yeah, I'm not set up. I'm in an office setting, and probably by the next time we do this, I will have my own little setup similar to Josh. I'm still in between apartments. We're working. It's a work in progress. But yeah, so enjoy my you
it,
know
it took me
I
a whole year in this house to get this room actually finally set up. So yeah,
we're still rocking a little something here. But yeah, it looks good. Finally, about time. The helmets look great.
yeah.
Chipper looks good. I love
But
it.
yeah, so episode 50, we always like starting episode, as always, with song of the week. So what you got for us?
So yeah, I've been very busy with this new job, and I've been listening to a lot of music, and I've been on an Oasis kick, and "Roll with It" by Oasis.
They're
As you
back.
know,
Yeah, they're
yeah,
back together.
they're back together. I went with "Roll with It" because that is just kind of how the days go. You just got to roll with it. Something new every day. Keep a positive outlook, and it just listen to those two Brits kind of jam out, kind of gets you in a good mood and gets you going. So I'm gonna rock with "Roll with It" by Oasis.
This week I've got Georgia Southern grad Cole Goodwin, new song "Dust on the Dance Floor." Absolute killer. like I was telling you, Cole, for the episode, got to know him in college a little bit. He's on tour with Zach Top right now. So, he's doing a lot of cool stuff out there. So, very happy for him. We had him on the podcast a while ago. So, encourage people to go back and listen to that. So, that was a good
Hmm.
interview as well. But yeah, first, we're going to jump into a little kind of quickly go conference by conference, the P4 group of five of who we think is, in our opinion, not the betting favorite. Someone might be the betting favorite, but in our opinion, who we think is going to win the conference championship and a dark horse.
Hmm. Yeah, so
So
we'll just start. I say we just go off the top. We'll start with the ACC and then just work our
ACT.
way down. So I'll get us started. Let me real quick cover this up. When I say who I think is going to win the ACC, I got the Clemson Tigers returning 92% production. I think Dabo is in a must win kind of, you
Yes.
know, he's in a must win. I think that they're trying to get up in that upper echelon of, they want to get back into that upper echelon, competing for national titles every year. And just to get a dark horse out, I don't want to do it. It's going to be the Florida State Seminoles. We're going to go from 2-10 all the way back to winning. I just can't wait for the ESPN 30 for 30 when we go from the build to the peak to the snub to the fall. That's when I get my guest spot. All right, as the fan, and then back to the peak, just ascend. And yeah, so Florida State is my dark horse to win the ACC at plus 1,500. That's why I can say it's a dark horse. Plus 1,500 is a dark horse.
I've got Clemson as well. I think Clemson is could be a big national title contender this year, as well as I think they're going to win the ACC. And I think if I had to bet, I can't legally gamble here in the state of Georgia, but if I was a gambling man, I throw a small wager on Cade Klubnik to win the Heisman.
Yeah, yeah. I don't.
Entering his fourth year at Clemson, starting. I mean,
He's got a good rapport with those receivers. Those receivers are. I'm more
replacing
high.
their run game is going to be a little difficult, but
Mhm.
we'll see. My dark horse this year, um, it's I consider Miami not really a dark horse, a contender, but I think Georgia Tech is going to be a dark horse this year. Love what they got going on. I'm not a Georgia Tech guy, but I mean, I love what they got going on in Atlanta. I mean, Atlanta is a recruiting hotbed for athletes as well. Now, of course, there's a ton of kids in a ton of schools in Atlanta itself. But if I were a gambling man as well, Georgia Tech's win total is 7.5, and I would take that over. Now,
Mhm.
do I think they're actually contenders this year? No. But as a dark horse, what I mean by that is I think they play Clemson late in the year. If Clemson's making a push or a team like that, they can knock somebody out of contention. So it
Yeah.
maybe put themselves in contention if they win a lot of big games late.
Plus 1,200 down here in the great state of Florida with the Hard Rock Sports bet. And yeah, I mean, also, if you want to talk win totals, Florida State's win total at over 7.5 is plus money. So that's something also to take gander at. But I think we both are kind of in the same boat. Clemson just with that much returning production and just with the way Dabo is utilizing the transfer portal, I think it's their year in the
For
ACC
sure.
to take it over yet again. Let's move over to the Big 12.
You
The Big
want
12
to
just
are we doing you want to do P5 first then G5? Is that what you want?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I was
Okay,
gonna
that's
do
fine. Okay.
P4. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So
Big
big
12.
it throw a dart. That's all I gotta say is throw a dart and hit a team in the Big 12.
Pretty
So
weak conference, to be honest with you. For
question. I wouldn't say weak. I would say exciting because there's unknowns, and that's when chaos. And because Arizona State was voted last
Yeah,
year
there
and ended up
there's not
winning
a
it.
there's not a team that really stands out to you on paper.
Yes, yeah, yeah. And who I think is going to win it. I will. I'm torn, but I do love my guy over there in Tempe. I'm gonna run with Arizona State. I love Kenny Dillingham. I loved when he was at
Yep.
FSU.
Hmm.
So and they got Sam Levitt. They still got the receiver. I do believe in his ability to recruit. I believe in his ability as a head coach. So yeah, I'm gonna take Kenny Dillingham. And for my long shot, man, let's see here.
We were talking about this before the episode. Dark horse. I
Dark horse
like
line.
I like Arizona State to win it, but I think, like I said about Georgia Tech, a team that can ruin somebody's day is Texas Tech, in my opinion. But also, don't sleep on UCF. And
Sleep on UCF. They're not going to be good. Trust me on that one. They're not
really?
going to be. Yeah, if you're going all the way down that far, I was looking at it.
Yeah, I mean,
Mm,
West Virginia, West,
Rich Rod is
yeah,
back. That
Rich
is
Rod
my.
back in West Virginia. BYU would have been in this conversation if their quarterback situation, we're not going to get into all that.
I am taking a shot here, and I'm going to say Rich Rod in year one shocks a bunch of people, and that will be my dark horse because the brand itself is just I think of West Virginia as a massive as a bigger brand in that conference, and I'm partial to them. I don't know why. I've always it might just be the ties, Bobby Bowden ties to FSU, West Virginia, but yeah, I'm gonna take Arizona State to win it, and then my real long shot is dark horse. We'll do West Virginia. So
Yeah,
you
so
know,
moving on over to the Big Ten.
yes,
Um, everybody's going to say Ohio State, Penn State here. Oregon's in that conversation, but I really like Oregon to win the Big Ten and potentially make a national championship push. They've got Mekhi Hughes, transfer from Tulane, who is an unbelievable running back when he was at Tulane. My dark horse. I've seen online people are high on USC, but they're going to be calling for Lincoln Riley to be fired after week 2 when Clay Helton comes in there and whips their ass. But my dark horse, this is tough. This is tough because you could say maybe Indiana. They got they're deep in the O-line room. They got a great receiving core. Um, but to be honest with you, might not be a popular opinion. I like the Huskers.
I was yeah I was going back and forth with my long shot, and it was between the team I'm going to say and the Huskers, and Matt Rule is
Mhm.
known for turning around, programs. And Matt Rule, I believe Nebraska lost had the most lost games by 7 points or less. So they're just coin flip games away. And another year under Matt Rule, he knows how to do these type of flips in college programs. I love the Huskers as a long shot. I do, and
Yeah,
I'm gonna.
they're going to be solid in the trenches too. So it does depend a lot on quarterback play and how Raiola plays. Raiola, however you say his name. But also
Yeah,
rooting for former Georgia Southern player Marquise Watson Trent. So
mhm.
he's been on the podcast as well. So hate that he's not in Statesboro anymore, but still rooting for that guy like hell.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm agreeing with you. I also think Oregon. I think it's their time to shine. Dan Lanning, another coach I admire.
Mhm.
I think he's got a real good story about him. I love the way he's bought into the Oregon the culture there at Oregon, and I just think that there's just a ticking time bomb for when they finally turn that O into a one. It's overdue. We can always talk about it. Oregon is always in that conversation, and that they're one of the teams that has no national title,
Yeah.
none, and it's a bit
It'd be cool to
shocking.
see them win, for that standard, unbelievable uniforms as everybody else
Mhm.
does.
Yeah,
So,
and with the Nike money, and then again, my long shot, I'm gonna take Illinois. Brett Bielema, I
yeah,
think that their schedule lines up well for it. They went 9-3 last year, if I wasn't mistaken. Had a won their bowl game here in Orlando against South Carolina, and
quarterback
they
is returning, I believe so.
Luke Altmaier is returning,
Yeah.
and I think that if I'm not mistaken, I haven't looked at their schedule, but I think that avoid I think they avoid Penn State.
All the heavy hitters.
I
Yeah.
think they get Ohio State. They have to play Ohio State, but I think they avoid most of that top. top
Uh-huh.
of the Big Ten, which again will play in their favor. So plus 3,000. You're the Huskers plus 4,000 is what I'm reading over here. And yeah, I think Oregon
Yeah.
is it's their time. So SEC.
SEC, yeah, moving on to them. So this is where it gets kind of sticky because as everybody well knows, there's a lot of good football teams in the SEC.
And one really bad one.
Yeah, Florida, I don't know if I consider them. I think Tennessee is not going to be great this year. Um, but I will say, the favorites, people love Texas, people love Georgia. I'm gonna have to say the Dogs. As much Georgia Southern fans are probably gonna hate me for that, saying that, but I mean, the Dogs upgraded in the receiver room. They probably have a better quarterback. We'll see than last year. Well, look, Gunnar Stockton's dad was an unbelievable safety at Georgia Southern, so it's kind of has that not so much bias, but like I don't
I
know.
can't stand that old QB. He
I think
decided to,
that.
yeah, he joined the enemy. He joined the enemy, and I will
Yeah,
see him here in Tallahassee. I believe
that's
October
right.
4th. I will see
Yeah.
him. I will see him without his girlfriend because they broke up. I was going to scare her to
Yeah.
take her to Waffle House, but
But
I respect. It's the
yeah,
dogs. I mean,
but I want to hear your contender. Who's your champion? And then I'll give you my dark horse because you're going to love my dark horse. And I think you're in agreement with my dark horse.
I think we landed on the same one without even talking about it. I Brian Kelly has to do something and
Make it or break it. Yeah.
make it or break it. They are not. They LSU never goes this long without being in at least the ACC or the SEC championship game. So I'm gonna buy. Sorry, yeah, yeah. I'm
Good.
gonna buy the hype on LSU, and I am going to. I'm gonna say the Tigers are gonna win the SEC. And
Yeah,
if
Nussmeier is definitely in the Heisman conversation right now as well.
even though I think they lose week one, I do because I want to keep that streak. Did you know they have not won a week one game since prior to COVID?
Interesting. Ed Orgeron days? That's crazy.
Well, unfortunately, and I'm not trying to be this guy, I was doing a little bit of research because I was on the phone with my dad before that, and we were just talking about week one matchups, and I informed him of that, and he goes, "When was the last time they won a week one game?" I believe it. In my research, I found out it was against Georgia Southern, unfortunately, in
Uh, that
2018.
that was a week one game. I thought.
Yes, 55-3 is what I
Yeah.
found.
I was at that game, but I mean that was probably the best team in college football history. So
Yes, that was in
at least
20
statistically, yeah.
since 2019. They have not won a week one matchup, LSU, but I do think that they win the SEC. And then my dark horse is I
Gamecock,
hopefully there we go.
Gamecocks.
I love it. Beamer ball,
Yeah,
Sellers at QB. They have that edge rusher. Dylan Stewart is a dog, and yeah, I mean,
they got that kid from Ohio State, Air Nolan, sitting there in the quarterback room too, I believe.
I just got two words for you. Go Cox.
Yeah.
That's just plain and simple.
I used to not be a fan of Beamer, but I'd like to say I'm a fan now.
He's
He's grown. He's grown on me.
bringing the swag to Columbia. So yeah, I would love for South
Moving
Carolina never won.
along, go ahead.
No, South Carolina's never won the SEC. I would love for them to win it in 2025. That would be beautiful. So
Moving along to the American Conference, we'll go group of five now, and
yes,
we could save Sunbelt for last. But
yes, we will save some belt for last. Don't worry.
um, so my contenders this year, this one is tough because the American is a really freaking good conference this year. But I've got to keep it with our troops. I love Navy.
I,
I
I
love Navy.
I have nothing bad to say about Navy. I never have anything bad to say about Air Force or Army.
Memphis is up there.
Memphis, I'm iffy on them because of their bid where the Big 12 said no. I don't know if their priorities are all. I mean, I'll give love to Memphis Tigers, but if we're talking who I'm taking to win it, my boy still plays for him. I'm taking the USF Bulls. I'm gonna rock down in Tampa, the
Okay.
813. Um, I
USF is my dark horse. So
plus
put them
700. I'm gonna go further for you for the dark horse. I'll take just because I've heard that their playbook is very nice on college football 26. I'm getting it this week. Rice. I'll take Rice plus
right. Okay.
15,000. I'll take a real. I love taking dark horses. I would just love to see the Rice Owls come out
I
of
also
nowhere.
like UTSA.
UTSA.
Road
Yeah, I mean it's just hard. Tulane is a wagon. Tulane has kind of established himself as a wagon in the American, but I'm gonna rock with the bullies and Um, yeah, don't be surprised either if ECU kind of pops their head up in there in the conversation. They always seem to,
Yeah.
feel a competitive team, or at least are, you know, in the mix of some sort. But moving along,
Bear
Conference
with me
USA.
for a second. I want to hang on this Memphis conversation.
Oh, okay, go right ahead.
There is, I don't know if he's going to be starting. Memphis might be starting this kid, Brandon Lewis at quarterback, but there is a kid from Houston County, went to Houston County High School right up the road from me. I'm in Perry. Go Panthers. Um, but AJ Hill from Houston County, 6'4", 215, 5-star. So
Really? Wow.
highest graded recruit in Memphis history out of high school. So well, some people say 4-star, 5-star. He was the number 5 QB in the country. Put it
Good
out.
for them.
So
Good. I
well, I just got to see him play. It's just a personal attachment. I got to
yeah
see him play his junior and senior year. Saw him play 4 or 5 times. So I mean, just a little. It's right up the road for me.
yeah.
So, what you got next?
Conference USA. This also your favorite is obviously Liberty,
Of course.
and then right behind that is
Their quarterback. They did get a quarter. That quarterback from Coastal Carolina is going to be their quarterback this year.
I mean, that just seems like low hanging fruit. It really just seems like low hanging fruit. But I'll take Western Kentucky. You know,
WKU. Yeah.
I'll take the Hilltoppers.
Yeah, just because I'm not a crazy fan of Liberty, but just for the Helton connection, I'd like to see both of the brothers, Clay Helton and Tyson Helton, both get conference champions this year.
And now my long
My,
shot. I'm
my
torn.
dark horse, I'm
Wait,
gonna
go ahead.
group of 5 guys are going to absolutely love me for this. We're gonna keep it with the 100 miles of hate. We're gonna go the freaking Blue Raiders, baby. If you look at their schedule, and this is all coming from the group of 5 guys, so this is not. I didn't form this opinion. They informed me about this, and then I did my little research. Their schedule is very, very favorable for them this year. So
And
I've
I
got a
believe
lot of good
they're
home games. The last couple years they've been running through the gauntlet trying to get money from some of these P4 teams. So, I think they
their
could
coach is in their second or third year now too, right? If I'm not mistaken.
second year. They got
Second year.
gosh, I'm drawing a blank on his name. He used to be the head coach at Vanderbilt.
I couldn't tell. Lee? Clark Lee?
No, oh gosh,
No, I'm blanking too. It's
Ralph
fine.
and Murph are gonna absolutely hate me for forgetting this name.
I'm gonna rock with let's just go crazy. I'll just get real crazy. My buddy is moving. One of my best friends in the world is moving to Georgia, and in the next this weekend actually. And right down the road from where he'll be staying is the Kennesaw State Owls. They have made the jump to the FBS, and let's just come out of nowhere and have a Georgia Southern-esque type season circa 2014, 13, 14, and we'll have the Kennesaw State Owls come out of nowhere. You took Middle Tennessee. I was looking at them, but I can't agree on everything. All right. Yeah, I will take the longest shot in that at plus 4,000 with the Kennesaw State Owls.
Yeah, I mean, you could say Sam Houston is going to be up there, UTEP as well, but my sources in the state of Georgia have told me Kennesaw is not going to be very good again. So,
Okay, little engine that could. All you gotta do is I think I can.
yeah, their quarterback is going to be Dexter Williams, former Georgia Southern quarterback. Um, we're forgetting the Pac-12, but we're skipping that
I don't think
conference
that.
right now.
Yeah, I don't think that they. I don't have odds for them, so I'm not even gonna.
Yeah, so going over to the MAC, we'll go there, then we'll do Mountain West, then we'll do Sun Belt. So
mhm.
for the MAC, I love Maction. I like Ohio, Miami of Ohio, but I'd have to go with Miami of Ohio here. I don't know too much about the MAC, so sorry if we got any MAC fans listening to this podcast. I doubt it, but sorry. I don't know too.
I love action. I love it.
I love watching it. I just like football, to be quite honest with you. Um,
Yes.
my dark horse, PJ Fleck's still at Western Michigan, right?
No, he's at Minnesota.
Minnesota. Why was I thinking he was at Western Michigan?
It's okay. I
My
said
dark
Clark Lee.
horse,
I said Clark Lee was at, and he's the current head coach at Vanderbilt. So I'm.
the current head coach at at Middle Tennessee is Derek Mason. I did look that up. So
Oh, okay.
my dark horse for the MAC, I've got to go with Buffalo. I think Buffalo might be pretty good this year. Um, I've, group of five guys, they've talked about Buffalo a little bit. They need some good backing there. If they can get that kind of backing, most people in that part of the country are NFL fans. So
According to the odds, you're gonna have to switch those because Miami of Ohio is plus 650, Buffalo is plus 425. So
we'll flip them. I
yeah.
mean, like I said, I don't know too much about the Mac, so sorry.
Uh,
Moving on to the Mountain. Okay, sorry.
skip me. Skip
Sorry.
me.
Sorry.
I know you want to get to the Southern preview. I know, we're getting there.
I'm antsy right now. I'm
I
antsy.
know, I know. You know, soon to be dad. He wants the baby to come out. He wants the Southern preview to come out. I mean, we'll get there. Just give us some time. All good things take time. And speaking of taking time, I'm going to take the rocket ships of Toledo, the Rockets. I think they're going to win it. And then I'll take my dark horse. I'm going to throw it all the way up to, I've always just been a fan of them. Don't know why. Western Michigan. I
Mhm.
think I won some money on them one time when they fake spiked it or something crazy. And I've just on like a Tuesday night and I won like 150 bucks on them. I think that's why. So I'm gonna in the snow of all things. So I'm gonna rock with Western Michigan ponies as my MAC
Yeah.
champions.
I forget about
Um,
Toledo too. They got a great backing over there. And a cool little stadium as well. I don't know if you've seen pictures of it. So
I
cool.
have not. I've gonna have to check it out. Now to the Mountain West.
Mountain West, I think it's pretty obvious who the favorite here is. In my opinion, it is Boise State yet again.
Hmm.
I still think, from what the group of five guys said, this is my pure source on, this knowledge, is they're still going to have a good running game replacing Ashton Genty. They got about two or three guys that can really you know, carry that load and have fresh legs. Maddox Madsen, big fan of him. Really stepped up last year when people were, talking about Malachi Nelson, this, that, and he's no good, this, that. Guy shut a lot of people up last year. So
Their front seven on defense too is real aggressive. I don't know what they lost from last year, but I remember watching some games and they will attack and attack and attack. They seem to just draft or not draft recruit really well in the trenches. So yeah, I mean I'm with you. Boise State as the clear cut
yeah.
favorite, and then who do you like for a long? Who do you like as your dark horse?
So it's like we've kind of been doing dark horses as more of a dark horse kind of contender thing, not so much of, long shot. I like San Jose State and maybe UNLV, but I do like San Jose State.
Mm-hmm. I've just I'm just going to stick with the Norvell connection. Has no connection whatsoever. I like Colorado State. I don't know what it is about them. It might just be the opposite of Colorado. Colorado's been getting all this love and all that stuff, but I like Colorado State and I like that coach. He's fiery. Um, I wouldn't be sure. I would like to see them be good. I also would like to see Air Force, compete out there for a Mountain West title. That'd be very cool. I am in an Air Force family, so that would be a
Yeah,
lot of fun to
I
start.
live in a big Air Force town. So, the base is right up the road. There's a lot of Air Force fans in my neck of the woods here. So,
I wouldn't mind seeing it, but yeah, Boise State's just a wagon. It's just hard to, you know.
yeah, Air Force had a down year last year. But we'll see. Army, they lost some guys if you want to keep it in the you know, troops, but I think Air Force might be good. They got the most Commander in Chiefs trophies out of Air Force, Army, and Navy. So
I absolutely
down
love
year
that.
last year, I think they're going to bounce back this year and maybe rattle off at least 7, 8 wins this year, in my opinion.
If I'm not mistaken, it just popped in my brain when you said that. Army's running back, I think their main running back transferred to Arizona State
Correct.
because they're allowed to do that. So I just,
Kanye Udo, I think is his name.
yeah, that
I don't know if I'm botching that last name, but
the Hayes Fawcett edit literally hit my brain as soon as you said Army, and I was like, oh wow. But let's roll it over
roll it
into the
over to
Sun
the
Belt.
Sun Belt. Obviously the Sun Belt is the only conference that still has divisions here. So what I'll do is I'll give a favorite in the dark horse for the East and the West. So I'll give you two favorites and two dark horses. I'll start
That's
with
all on you.
I'll start,
Do you want me to do mine? Because I only have two. I only
go
have the
ahead.
two.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm not picking against the Eagles. So Georgia Southern's winning this damn thing. All
yeah.
right. I think last year just put a fire under a lot of people's asses, and you're going to see Georgia Southern come out there and win the Sun Belt. And then I'll take, if we're looking at, you know, long shots. Let's look at. Mm, I don't have one. I don't care. It's Georgia Southern's conference. You go ahead. That's it. I don't have a long shot. I don't really care for a long shot. Maybe Arkansas State. We'll just throw it out that far. But
I do agree. I do agree with Ark State. The West, the favorite has got to be Lafayette. Obviously you know, um, they won the conference champ or lost the conference championship this past year to Marshall. And of course, all Marshall guys, you now have the Southern Miss Thundering Herd going on there. So, but
the Golden Thundering Herd. The
yeah, the
Golden
Golden
Thunder.
Thundering Herd in Southern Miss. My dark horse out of there, I think Arkansas State has got a good thing going there with Bush Jones. I think he's built a solid program at Arkansas State. Georgia Southern does travel to Ark State this year. Um, Beautiful stadium. I've been there. Very, very cool stadium. I went there probably, I don't know, I was in high school, so it's pre 2018. I can't remember. It's one of the last times we played there. So moving over to the East, Georgia Southern's obviously winning the conference championship. Like you said, I think the boys, I'll talk about a little bit more them a little bit later. I think the boys really got a fire under their ass. You're really one play away, one game away. If we would have beaten Troy, we would have pretty much been in the conference championship if we would have won that game. But one play of the game, the JMU Marshall game, came down to literally the last play of the football game. So, if Marshall does not win that game, JMU would win, and then Southern would have been in the conference championship. But my dark horse out of the East. I'm not even going to mention James Madison because I cannot stand the Dukes, to be honest with you. So, ODU, I think ODU has got a lot of returning guys. I'm pretty high on that quarterback, to be honest with you. They wiped the floor with us last year on Thursday night, but they do travel to Paulson Stadium this year. So that is big. Georgia Southern, Clay Helton has not beat Old Dominion. Well, take that back. Clay Helton is 1-2 against Old Dominion in his tenure as a head coach at Georgia Southern, with the only win being with Kyle Van Treese being the quarterback. Clay Helton's first year there, and we hit the season win total that game several years ago. So that was a very
Always feels good.
moment.
Always feels good.
But ODU, 2 years ago with Davis Brin at quarterback, year two under Helton, that game was a very, very close one. And then, of course, last year, Thursday night, did not go as planned. But that was coming off of two big wins, JMU and Marshall, and then short week going to ODU. That's a tough one. But yeah, that's all I got for the Sun Belt.
Yeah, do you want to national champion
Ah, see, the national championship's tough. If I had to pick one
right now? What are you thinking?
right now, I'd have to say the Clemson Tigers, or I'll give you two, Clemson or Oregon, or my two teams that I'd like to see win. If it's
Whoa,
if
whoa,
it's not
whoa.
Georgia Southern.
We don't like to see anything, We just we on this end at least. I
Yeah,
will agree. I will be putting in a future bet on the Clemson Tigers to win the national championship. As much as it pains me, wearing the garnet and gold. Like I said at the start, 92% returning production.
but I
Cade
think it'd
Klubnik,
be cool. I think it'd be cool to see Oregon win, to be honest with you. First ever national championship. I'm
hmm
pretty high on Dan Lanning. Mackay Hughes is unbelievable. And then the uniforms. I
yeah,
mean,
I would absolutely love for me to be the missing link up here and take Florida State all the way. That would be great. But yeah, I think that
trying to be a little
Oregon.
realistic here.
Yeah, just a little realistic. Clemson is. I don't think this is a weird statement to say, but I don't think Cade Klubnik has to be. Cade Klubnik just has to be JJ McCarthy. We'll just put it to you that way. You know what I mean? Cade Klubnik doesn't. He has to be AJ McCarron. He has to be all of these guys that
You don't have to do anything special.
exactly. You just have to go out there and not turn the ball over, and then just let your defense. And being a Bucks fan, defense wins championships. That's in my DNA. I think that Clemson just has such a good defense, such a good front seven that they're going to be, and everyone's just kind of high on LSU. Everyone thinks Ohio State's just going to reload. No, I think we're going to have a new. I think we're going to have someone outside of the SEC and the SEC and the Big Ten. I could see Oregon, but I think the ACC at the end of the year is the champion, whether that be Clemson or that be rightfully my Noles. So, we'll see.
Speaking of the Knowles, what do you have on them this year? What's the word? I know you said you didn't have much.
Mike has informed me that he's closing off practice to the media, and as the
Honorary coach.
I get pseudo coach, the coach in the stands, I'm going to honor that because this is considered media. And yeah, I'll just give it to you straight. I think we hit our win total. Last season was a blur. It was an absolute nightmare. Never want to go through that again.
You were ready for the season to end after week three.
Yes, yes, we lost to Memphis. Yes, you were there. I was ready for the season to end after I was shirtless at Duke and lost to Duke for the very first time. I just think that don't be shocked. I will say this: do not be shocked if Florida State is up in the top five of rushing the football. I believe in Herb Hand. I believe the moves we made on the coaching staff is going to be a positive one. And yeah, everyone can dog TC as much as they want, but Kyler Murray is under 6 foot and won the Heisman. I believe my guy TC can get it done as well, and he showed flashes of greatness at Boston College. People talk about him all the time. Juice Robinson coming over from USC, a legacy guy. I think also we have the number one tight end room in the country. We have Landon Thomas, Chase Lofton, Biscuit just came back. We have one of the most underrated tight end rooms in the country. And then on the defensive side of the ball, you bring in Tony White, 3-3-5 defense, something you haven't seen. I think the DBs are solid, and yeah, I just think we are gonna. You're gonna look at last season. People are gonna turn their heads. Worst case scenario, 7-5. Best case scenario, 10-2, 11-1. That is crazy coming from Florida State guy, obviously a
That's the
bias.
ceiling. That's the ceiling.
That yeah, I could see us competing for a playoff spot. I could see us, I could see us competing for if you go 10-2 or 11-1, Florida
Yeah.
State is in the playoff. That is a I'll tell you, I'm going to call my shot right now. We're beating Bama week 1. I am going to parade Big Al's head on a spear down the streets, in the streets of Tallahassee. I am not. I
See,
cannot lose
we'll
that game.
see.
I cannot. But yeah, worst case scenario is 7-5. I'm a broken man at 7-5, and I'm questioned, and I'm doing research. And we'll leave it at that. I'm doing research.
You mentioned two Georgia boys, obviously Castellanos, he's from Ware County, Georgia. And then tight end Landon Thomas, is that right?
Yes, Amari Williams also is in that room too.
Colquitt County, Colquitt County boys. So, gotta
Hmm.
love that. Also shout out our guy Fitzy. So,
Yeah, he's on the Panthers now. He's
yep.
he yeah. I'm very high on our new guy, Jake Weinberg. He's a good kid. I met him last year. I'm a big fan of him. He's a good head on his shoulders. I think he's gonna take the torch that Fitzy the from Fitzy and just sprint. Again, I forget who our punter is, because we lost Mastro, but we hit the transfer portal and did exactly what we needed, and we got rid of the cancerous coaches who were not doing their job. And yes, I will say that cancerous coaches, they know who they are, and yeah, that's fine. We elevated the staff and we elevated where we needed to elevate, and even going 2-10, we had a top 25, I believe, top 25 recruiting class for high school, and a top 10 transfer portal class. So I'm high on my Noles. I'll see you in I'll see you in Miami. There, I'll set it. We're going back to the national championship.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll
Bosh.
move along.
Yeah, go ahead. It's time.
It's time. It's
It's
time.
time.
So, you were talking about, 3-3-5 is what Florida State's going to be running. So Coach Bailey at Georgia Southern, move along to the Georgia Southern talk. I love what he did with the defense. Last year we improved. Had to replace a lot of guys on that. So I'll start with the defensive side of the ball, and then I'm going to kind of go through it all, man. I mean,
All right. I'm
I've
just
got a
listening.
I've got a lot of notes to be quite honest with you. So
Go ahead.
with the defense side of the ball, Coach Bailey loves the 4-2-5, but in some situations last year he did switch to the 3-3-5. So I do kind of like having that nickel linebacker in there. Just another guy that can cover the pass and stop the run as well. So it is very clear that Georgia Southern lost Mark Stampley, Marquise Watson Trent this offseason. But to stay in that cornerback room, Chance Gamble is obviously the freaking man. Chance is looking to have a great year, his last year of college football. Chance is not only a great guy, but an unbelievable athlete. Chance played a lot of quarterback, running back, receiver, special teams in high school, kind of jack of all trades guy, super, super athletic. If you're a PFF guy, 71.1 PFF grade, which is pretty good. Responsible for 33 catches last season. Most yards he gave up in a game, 76 yards.
You can't get
So,
anyone under 100. If that's
yeah,
the most, like that's a
yeah.
great.
He played hurt pretty much all of last season, broke the hand, so he missed some games. He did have three interceptions, six pass breakups. I think the biggest question mark out of the secondary this year is how are they going to tackle? Because they're a little unproven in that area, but I think they'll have a lot of success. You also have Tracy Hill on the other side at corner. Three pass breakups last year, two interceptions. I mean, he's a great cover corner. Um, he's definitely, on the taller end of a corner, I think. So you got some tall, lean guys back there in the secondary as well. Dorian Smith is going to be back there. He's a great run defender as well. And you still got Aiden Jackson at nickel. Aiden had a great year last year, kind of playing a safety nickel role, kind of bounced around a little bit. You also lose Tyrell Davis in that secondary as well, and TJ Smith with the graduations. But Aiden Jackson filled that role pretty well. And then you got Justin Myers. Justin Myers is looking to kind of take that next step. He had over 500 snaps, I believe, last year. I don't know if my intel is correct, but 500 snaps last year is a lot of snaps. So he's seen a lot of actions. You still got Prince Green and Devin Collier. They did not play very, very much last year. Then you got a transfer from Georgia Tech who predominantly played special teams last year, and Jaden Davis. Um, Carlo Thompson, he's a D2 transfer. Antonio White, he is from Rutgers. He did not play at Rutgers, but my sources say he's pretty good. So safety is the biggest question mark there in the secondary. But if you want to move on over to edge rushers and D line, Davion Rhodes, he very, very good last year, looking to really take that big step forward. Coach Helton just took him and JC French to Sunbelt Media Days. So that is a good sign that he is a leader on that defense. So and that's what we need because Mar was probably that leader last year on the defense, just more so vocal, older guy, so maybe Rhodes can take that next step. You lose Isaac Walker, halfway through the season last year. You got Deshaun J. Davis, Seca's there, Jacob Ferguson. Ferg is going to have a really good year, I believe. And defensive tackle, man, you got Big Latrell Bullard, man. This guy is legit at nose tackle, defensive tackle. He can play head up on the center. He can play the three tech. He can kind of bounce around. You got Jaquan McGinney, transfer from Arkansas State. Did not play much there. But the big guy that I'm excited for, besides Marcus Downs is good. Marcus Downs, 6'5", 300 pounds, UCF transfer. It's a big old boy at defensive tackle. And then you got oh gosh, dude, I'm gonna botch this guy's name. Let me try to get the correct pronunciation here. What number is he? What number? Um, Uche Elo, defensive lineman. He redshirted at Georgia Tech, was he enrolled at Georgia Southern back in January. He was originally committed to Georgia Southern out of high school, but then transferred or not transferred. Then Tech came in late and got him. He did not see any action, so he's a redshirt freshman, which is a good thing. He's 6'5", 275. So he's physically he got all the tools that you need. So hopefully he can play a big part and get a lot of snaps as a young guy. So, maybe down the road could be a key factor once he gets those in-game live reps. So moving on over to linebacker, like I said, you lose Mar. You lose Davin Gilmore, to graduation. Mar obviously goes over to Nebraska, but you get Brendan Harrington transfer from App State. The guy's got over 1,800 tackles in his career.
Wasn't he on the pod too? We interviewed him, didn't we?
Yes, we did
Yeah.
interview him. So over 1,800 tackles in his career. He struggled with a little bit of injuries through his tenure, so hopefully he can stay healthy. So he's one of the better pass coverage linebackers, in the group of five, in my opinion. So, we'll see what he does. Hopefully he has a great year. And then you get a transfer from Elon. So very, very high on Brandon Tyson. Be on the lookout for this guy's name. Very, very good transfer from 1AA Elon. Some of you Georgia Southern fans used to play them a lot in 1AA. Um, so he's going to be very, very good. You got CJ Allen, could see some of his first playing time, for the Eagles. But those are some big names for me on the defense. We'll go over to offense. JC's entering his second year. This is the first returning quarterback Georgia Southern's had since Shy Wertz. So that is a big thing for you Southern fans. Fourth year in the Clay Helton system. He's got a returning OC. And I will say, JC has lost a lot of body fat. JC is cut, jacked, he's healthy. Coach Shelton brought him over to the media days, and JC's even said it himself on our podcast and even on the media days that JC's next step that he believes is becoming more of that leader in a role. And I think JC is doing that right now, from what my sources say. And statistically, you know, 2,950 passing, 53 passing yards last year, 18 touchdowns, 12 picks. JC battled a lot of injuries last year. So some of those that, the fans didn't really quite know about. I know JC got a lot of flack, but that is what it is. When you have high expectations for your football team, the quarterback's going to get all the heat and the quarterback's going to get all the praise. There's no middle game, as you well know, Cole, with the quarterback situation. If you have a great year, you're going to get all the praise. If you're not living up to the fans' expectations, you're going to get all the heat.
Yep,
That's
that's
fine.
just how it goes.
That's just the way quarterbacks are.
Yep.
You get a transfer from WKU, Coach Shelton's son, Turner. Turner probably will be the number two. Same system, playing for his uncle at WKU. Now he's with us in Statesboro. And then you got the big guy, four-star recruit, Weston Bryant. Weston Bryant, very, very good. I've seen pictures of this guy, what George Southern's posted on their social media. Jacked. Absolutely jacked. 18 years old. I think, let's see what they got him listed at. I don't know if they have him on the actual roster yet. But oh gosh, let's see. Give me 2 seconds. He's wearing number 9 this year. Our site has him listed at 6'3", 250 pounds at QB.
Be careful.
I tell you what, this boy can move. I've watched some of his tape on football, his huddle and stuff, but he played House and County in baseball this past year in a playoff game. Watch this guy play baseball. Buddy can fly for 250 pounds. And this guy's a two-time state champion wrestler as well. And I don't know if y'all are very familiar with high school wrestling, but there's not a 250-pound weight class, 240. Once you get over like the 220, 230 mark, this guy's wrestling 300 pounders, man. And he's whipping their ass. So, Weston is going to be a guy looking down the road. I don't know if he's going to play this year. I'm not sure. Maybe he'll be in the mix, maybe in a little bit of a running game, kind of like how we used JC when Davis Brin was the quarterback, but we'll see. Running back room, you lose Jalen White. Jalen White was a big centerpiece for us the last few years. He's now with the Green Bay Packers, UDFA with the Green Bay Packers. So he's going through training camp right now. Super, super excited with him with the Packers, man. He's definitely going to be on special teams for them, but actually has a legitimate shot to get some carries out there in Green Bay. So super happy for him. You got OJ Arnold returning for his senior season. He's dealt with some injuries the last couple years. Had a big game against Georgia State last year. He averaged over 3 yards per carry last season. So, and 14 forced missed tackles. That's a good number for a backup. And he can catch the ball in open space. He's kind of your do it all kind of running back. You got David Badinga back there. He's returning again. Love the way he runs the football. He's not a very, very big guy for college football standards, you know what I mean? But he runs the ball hard and mean. I love that. You also got Terrence Gibbs, the highest rated recruit in Georgia Southern history, I believe. I think I'm right on that. He was a four-star um, out of Alabama, I believe. So, we have not seen a whole lot of production from him in the Georgia Southern uniform. Had a good fumble recovery last year. I can't remember who we were playing. It was on a kickoff, but sorry, but he's battled some injuries through his career. So, he could be like a little wild card, if you will, in the running back room. But what I do love about our running back room is very, very deep. You also got a kid, Jay Anderson. He could get in the mix a little bit. Bryce Baker, we might see in goal line situations. He's a somewhat local kid. He went to Benedictine Christian. in Savannah. You're familiar with this high school quarterback that is now at Mississippi State. So
Yes, yes.
yeah,
Luke
so
Krummenek.
yeah,
Yes.
former teammate of his in high school. So yeah, Bryce was very, very good in high school. And one guy that I'm really excited for to get in the mix this year and definitely down the road is Teo Todd. Teo Todd, he had, man, he had over 1,000 rushing yards, well over 1,000 rushing yards in high school, had over 1,000 receiving yards in his tenure in high school. So he's kind of a guy like OJ can kind of do it all kind of deal. So redshirt freshman, I don't know if he's going to get in the mix, but he's definitely going to get some snaps. And, definitely down the road for the Eagles, he's going to be a good player. Um, I'm going to go offensive line, tight ends, then receivers. So I've got a lot. So, I mean,
Go ahead. I'm just listening. You're good.
the O-line, you lose Bryson Broadway. Love Bryson, had him on the podcast. Graduation, um, was one of the big leaders in that offensive line room last year at tackle. You lose Don Boyd at tackle, that I believe got UDFA'd by the Raiders as well, which big deal for him, happy for him. We lose Weston Wallace to transfer. He is now at Western Kentucky. So, but I will say this. Georgia Southern has had the highest percentage returning players. I don't know what the percent is, but it's over 75% of returning players from last year to this year. Definitely the highest in the Sun Belt Conference, one of the highest in the nation, which is massive, massive, especially in these guys in the transfer portal world. So, you got Keyshawn Wembley coming back at guard. Keyshawn's unbelievable. I think he was first team preseason All Sun Belt. You know, the guy's got an NFL future ahead of him. Unbelievable. You got Caleb Cook. Shout out Caleb. Had him on the podcast not too long ago. Great pass blocking guard. Great run blocker. Last year in a Georgia Southern uniform. So hopefully, like he said, talking about manifesting stuff, we always talk about it a lot, especially with these guys. I'm manifesting him to get that first team all conference. He was second team last year, maybe third team. And I think he said in the podcast, it just, it's cool, whatever, to have that recognition. But second or third team left a little bad taste in his mouth. He wants to be that first team. So he's looking to really take that next step this year. And you also have Chance Carroll returning at center as well. So Chance, he was a transfer from UNC. Chance got the predominant snaps at center. And then also you got Chandler Strong, can play a little bit of guard and center. He was more of a backup. Local kid, went to Howson County right up the road from me. So, Chandler Strong does add that depth at guard and center as well. So, I don't know if there's going to be much of a competition at center. I don't know if there is going to be a competition. I truly don't know. But I think we'll probably see Chance Carroll getting the start at center this year. And then tackle, we lose both of our tackles with Broadway and Dom Boyd. I'm really excited about the tackles this year. I am. I know we lost two starters on the offensive line, but I'm really excited for Kalen Williams. Big guy. I think he's from Dublin, so somewhat of a local kid. He got a few snaps, got a good meaningful snaps last year, got his first start last year, so that's a big thing. Great run blocker. I think he's might be playing on the left side. I'm not 100% sure. Played on the left side last year, so we'll probably see him on the left side at tackle. So big step for him. I think he's going to have a big, big year. I've been hearing a lot of good things about him. And also, you got Johnny Brown. Johnny Brown saw 93 snaps last year. Had a good spring game from what I heard. He's a great pass blocking thing. I think one thing that I've seen he might need to improve, I don't know, maybe improve on the run blocking, but we'll see because I think that the Eagles are going to get the run game a little bit more involved this year than they have. And that's no knock to Jalen White or anybody else. I just think that this offense is going to be a little bit more balanced than it has been in the last couple years because we got a shitload of weapons. Um, Moving on over to tight end, you lose Tyler Fromm and Bo Johnson. Shout out Tyler. Had him on the podcast. Bo Johnson got to become, friends with him when I was still in Statesboro, and got to hang out with him after the bowl game this past year in New Orleans. Bo's an unbelievable guy. I hate that he's not in a Georgia Southern uniform anymore. Tyler and Bo really, really good blockers as well at that tight end position. You got Elijah Walton, Aubrey Heath, JP Michael. Michael and Walton, they got battled some injuries, here and there, but they'll add a lot of depth to that tight end room. Got a lot of young guys in the tight end room. You also get Amon Green transfer from Georgia State. Not a ton of snaps at Georgia State, I don't think, but adds a lot of versatility, adds a good blocking game as well. Not like a crazy big guy in standards for tight end terms. I'm not saying like he's a small guy. He's just not 6'5", 6'6", like everybody wants their tight ends to be. But the big guy in the tight end room is River Helms, transfer from WKU. River, I think, has got a chance to be one of the best tight ends in the conference this year. So big believer in him. So, hopefully my one, if I had to have my one gripe is we need to use the tight ends a little bit more. That is my one gripe. It is just we've had some good tight ends under Coach Helton, but we haven't really used the tight end a whole lot. And Tyler Fromm had a good year last year. I just would have liked to see us use him a little bit more. But that's with Tyler, that's very, very biased of me because not only we had him on the podcast, we're friends. I grew up playing football and baseball against him when we were kids. So that is a biased take, but I like to see us use the tight end a little bit more this year. Moving on over to the wide receivers, then I'll go special teams. Um, so receivers, you lose Derwin Burgess. Obviously, Derwin has got the second most receiving yards in school history. So Derwin was one of the great receivers in Georgia Southern history. Big catch against Marshall. You lose LV Buckley Shelton. Lose him. Sam Kennerson, you lose to. Joshua Thompson, you lose. DeAndre Buchanan, you lost as well. Um, but you still got Josh Dallas, absolute GOAT. Love that guy. He's going to have a breakout freaking year this year. He had 614 yards and six touchdowns last year. So hopefully he gets over that 1,000-yard mark this year. I think Southern's got a potential two guys in the receiver room to have 1,000 yards potentially, or right around it. And with Dallas and Dalen Cobb. Dalen Cobb, we had him on the podcast last year. I think he's going to be very, very good. You got Marcus Sanders. He had a good year last year. Kind of an older guy now. Good size. Had a big catch against Coastal last year. You still got KD Dorsey. He didn't have a whole lot of playing time last year. Maybe we'll see him a little bit more. But the two big transfers in the wide receiver room, you got Camden Brown out of Auburn, 6'3", 200 pounds. Um, this kid, Camden Brown's going to be good, man. I'm telling you, I'm hearing a lot of good things about him. Great route runner. I mean, could really be. I mean, that's what's tough is like, and I'll go through one more guy, and then I'll say what I was going to say. You also got Dylan Gray, transfer from West Georgia. Um, he's 6'5", 208 pounds, big body. And what the good thing is, what I was going to say was, is the good thing about the wide receiver room is there honestly is five guys that could be a number one receiver on this team. And I mean, there's a ton of options. Then you add the tight ends to the mix. Then you add the running backs out the backfield. There's legit five guys that all could be legit number one receivers at a different school. So,
Well, I mean, that's where you said that you're gonna run and throw the football more. It's gonna balance it out. So you got a lot of mouths to feed, and that's not a bad thing to have in football. I mean, you just got to go out there and do it now. I mean,
Yeah,
that's
I
just
mean,
yeah.
I'd like to see a guy get over the 1,000 yard mark in the wide receiver room, but you could potentially have three, maybe four guys get over the 500 yard mark,
Oh yeah, for sure. If you throw
which
it, you
is
just gotta, yeah, you just gotta go out and JC is gonna build rapport with them. So it's gonna come. It's gonna come. It'll we'll see
especially
it.
with Dallas. Everybody knows about Dallas. Everybody knows about Dalen Cobb. But when you add Camden Brown and Dylan Gray and River Helms and and tight end room, you got a lot of red zone threats too. So with a guy that's 6'5", I mean, with Dylan Gray coming out of West Georgia, I mean, there's not a whole lot of guys that can in the secondary that will play that can really beat this guy on a high point on the football. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, that old F it mentality. Somebody's down there because
Hmm.
you got a lot of guys that can catch the damn football and are good freaking players, man.
Hmm.
And last thing I got, before I kind of reel it on back in, special teams, kicker, Dempsey, he is from Ireland. So we got he trained over in Australia a little bit, so he comes from that system as well. I hear a lot of good things about him, that he's a good, solid kicker. And then our punter, Alex Smith, the Aussie, this guy's got a potential to be an All-American this year. I'm serious. He's legit. He got some conference honors last year as well. I think he is preseason All Sun Belt first team at punter. But I'm telling you, this guy has a legitimate shot of being an All-American this year. So
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
to bring it all back in, what are your thoughts?
You threw so much information at me. I just go out and win the conference. It all comes down to returning production and just going out and taking care of business. You know, I know the boys are hungry, and I know Coach Helton's going to have the right game plan. Um, the coaching staff knows what's at stake. I mean, the odds market has you at the third highest
Hmm.
to win, and
But
you
behind
were,
Lafayette and James Madison, correct?
yeah, and was it year 3 or 4 of Helton?
Entering year four.
I mean, it's what you it's time to take that next step. That next step over the hump. Last year, again, like you said, you were a play away, you were a game away from playing, from even hosting the
Yeah.
damn conference championship. So now the expectation is prepped up, and with a lot of guys returning, I don't see why you can't be. And then the pieces that you added are quality pieces. So just keep the culture that Helton has built. Keep that rolling in. Keep doing the same, and then just go out there and take care of business. That's just what you're gonna have to do. That's what football's all about: is taking care of business.
Yeah, and I mean, you're 100% right. The expectation and the standard is obviously winning the Sun Belt Conference this year. I think I firmly believe this is the year that we're going to do it. We've only got one Sun Belt Conference championship, and that's back in 2014, the first year in the Sun Belt. So, that's last year has got a lot of guys bad taste in their mouth. That Troy game and being so close to getting there is a little frustrating, yes. But I will say, I've said it a bunch on podcasts the last several years, and I said it last year. I think year one under Helton, 6-6, and Helton still doesn't have a postseason win yet this year. He's lost all three bowl games since he's been there, and that's tough. Um, but year one under Helton with Kyle Van Tree, 6-6, that was a little bit of an overachievement in my opinion. I really hate to say that, to be quite honest with you. And then the next year, 6-6 again, losing the bowl game. Um, so I think that was about right, year two under Helton. And then last year, like we said, you play away, game away, you win 8 games, and of course we lose the bowl game, which sucked. But this year is I don't like using conference championship or bust, but the expectation is winning conference championship this year. and hopefully
What's
host.
your record? What's your record? You put me on the spot. I'm putting you on the spot. I can go through the schedule. I have it pulled up.
Okay,
You want to go game by? You want to just go game by game? Don't look. Just I'll just say it, and you just.
but this is so tough because it's just like
I
I,
had to give
I'll be
mine.
I'll be super realistic about it. Super realistic.
Good. I was realistic about mine up until I
I,
wasn't.
I will say before we start, if we walk out of California 1-1,
Don't do that. Just let's just go through it and blindly. Don't even think. Just give me what Joshua Bevel, soon to be daddy, to a little guy says when I say these.
I'm going to be super realistic.
Just answer. All right. Week one, traveling to Fresno State.
Loss.
Week two, traveling to USC.
Clay Helton revenge game. We're getting that dub.
Okay. All right. Shades of Nebraska.
Hmm.
Remember that. Coming back home, Jackson State.
Oh, I think we wiped the floor with them, to be quite honest with you.
Next game, Maine comes to Paulson.
We'll win that one for sure. Maine is also we face Maine a lot. Maine could come in there hot. That's a long
FC,
road.
I'm giving to you. It's an FCS school.
I know. I'm just saying. I'm not saying that may not be no cakewalk. I hope it's a cakewalk, but win.
All right. To James Madison. That's a win. Okay. Then hosting Southern Miss on a Thursday, short
Ooh.
week. Short week.
Thursday in Statesboro.
Yes.
I'm gonna go another dub.
Okay. Then the following week, you host Georgia State.
Cole.
Yeah, I know. We'll just move on. Okay.
W.
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 Moving on. Following week, you have to travel to Arkansas State.
I think we dropped that one.
Okay. And then coming back on a short week, you go to App State.
It is
Thursday night game.
Thursday night again this year. I'm so pissed it's not last game of the year. But I think the Billy Goats, the Mountaineers, whatever you want to call them, I hate them. I'll never, ever, ever think or say that we will lose that game. W. I mean,
Okay. Yeah.
absolutely
Sorry.
W.
Okay. All right. And then you host Coastal on a
Dub.
Saturday. And then you
Dub.
host ODU. And then you got to finish it out at Marshall.
ODU is going to be a tough one. Glad it's in Statesboro, W. Um, Marshall, there. We'll see. I don't think they're going to be very good. They'd be happy to ruin our day, but W. I,
I'm counting them. I'm going back. I'm going back. I'm gonna let you know what you landed on. Okay, so just bear with me because I wasn't keeping track. So
I think we go 10-2 this year.
is that what you was
Mhm.
the only
With
losses
a loss to
to?
Fresno State and Arkansas State, both on the road. Both
Yeah, I
on the
see
road.
it.
I think we go undefeated at home this year, to be quite honest with you. The season win total is at 7.5, plus 110, 105 on the over, correct?
I believe I saw plus 105 over 7.5
So if
down
you're in a
here in
legal
Florida.
gambling state like you, Cole, I'd absolutely
Throw the
lay,
mortgage. Throw the mortgage on it.
well, you
How
know,
cool? What's the confidence level?
yeah, 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 if
Is it? Are we getting a little man?
hypothetically, hypothetically speaking, I'm throwing the mortgage on there.
Hypothetically, are we getting little man's college paid for?
Oh yeah. If we look now, I will say I do have legally Vegas tickets. That's legal. Gone to Vegas, place the bets. That is firmly legal if you go to Vegas. You just got to go back out there and collect, which is fine. It gives me a good excuse because if we win this win total and win the conference championship, that trip is paid for. So, you know what I'm saying.
I like how we both landed on 10-2. We're not biased.
Yeah, but I mean,
I have
look,
a range. There's so much. I just
look,
so
we're
much for me. But I
realistically, we're not going to go undefeated. Okay, like I hope that we go undefeated and win the championship and make the college football playoffs. But realistically, that's just not going to happen. Okay.
It's a great thing when it does, when you go undefeated. I can speak from experience.
Yeah, well, you know what? If we go undefeated, we'd actually make the college football playoffs, and
Yes.
you didn't. So, but there is more teams now than that year happened. So, to
I
be,
can count on, let's see, 93, 99, 13. I mean, how many conference championships do I got to count? I mean,
well, Georgia Southern's got 6 national championships. So, I know
don't
people
don't
are going to say, "Oh, that's
don't
FCS." But
sour
like,
don't sour the ending of this episode with your
hold
six
on,
national titles.
hold on, hold on, hold on,
You no
hold on,
longer
hold on.
play in that silly league that is the FCS. I love the FCS, but we're not going to sit here and that is fantastic. Did you rub the dust off on that to when you brought it over?
I did have to dust it off to put it on the
Yeah,
shelf.
okay, yeah. So I'm just saying we're not going to sit here. We are the bridge between G5 and P4. That is what we do. We are the bridge. So it's all love. It is the bridge
I will,
between
I will say, I do want to show the people something here. This is for the people, and this is to close out the good episode here.
episode 50.
I just recently got given these trading cards by my father, and this was I don't know where he got them. I wish I could shout out wherever he got these from because I mean these are limited edition trading Georgia Southern football trading cards. So I really wish I could shout out where these came from. I hope these came from Southern Exchange. So Southern Exchange, free shout out.
Oh, is that the guy that's going to get put in the Hall of Fame after days of us
Dude.
asking?
Yeah, no kidding. I want to show a couple of my favorites here. We got the Tracy Ham. I don't have an AP one. These are all from the mid late 80s and the 90s. So if Georgia Southern fans are familiar with Giff Smith, are you familiar with Giff Smith?
Couldn't tell you.
So Giff was once, let me see. He played defensive line at Georgia Southern. He is now with the LA Rams, and he was once the interim head coach for the LA Chargers before Harbaugh. So,
Oh, okay.
so he is I don't know if I think he's got the most single season sacks in school history. He might be all-time sack leader, but look how badass this is.
That's pretty cool.
I
That's
mean,
pretty
it's
cool.
like,
That's awesome.
it's sick. It's sick. I got Tim Stowers. I mean, I got a Taz Dixon, a lot of, older Georgia Southern players. So, but yeah, like Cole said, we have been tweeting and with effort with Danny Reed as well. Shout out Danny Reed. Just had him on the podcast not too long ago. We have through 92 days of tweeting at NFF Network. So, the CFB Hall technically does not control that. So, the NFF, National Football Foundation, controls who gets in and out of the college football playoffs. So, 92 days straight, we've been tweeting out them. I've DM'd them several times, no response.
Hey, just
I've
keep
been nice.
trying.
I've been nice.
You
I've
have to
never said
be. You
any
can't.
negative. I've never
You're
nothing.
just pointing out a let's just call it an error in the history that is college football and
Correct.
what he has done for the game because we, just like a lot of other people, care about the history and the people that built the foundation of college football. And I'm sure Georgia fans would agree with you that he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. I mean, I'd have to do my own research, but I have my head coach in the Hall of Fame at Bobby Bowden, God rest his soul. But, you look at some of the guys, I should do my own little research on that. Mickey Andrews, legendary defensive coordinator, never really took a head coaching job as far as if I'm not mistaken, I'd have to look that up. But, we gotta honor the guys that put a mark on the game at all levels,
Mhm.
because it's not just, well, now if we're counting titles, we're counting titles properly because we're in the FBS. But left a mark on the game, no matter where they were at, and Irk obviously
Mhm.
did that. And I mean, hell, he was a staple to that Georgia defense.
Yeah, the originator of the junkyard dog in Athens, arguably one of the best defenses in college football history, with Herschel Walker also on the other side of that.
So
The offense.
we'll just keep pounding away until,
And I will say this, I'll never stop.
yeah, I know.
I'll never stop. I'm going to be fighting tooth and nail till the day that I die. Whenever I leave this earth, I will be fighting and fighting and fighting to get Irk Russell in the
It's gonna
College Football
happen.
Fame.
It's gonna happen. It's long overdue. It's gonna happen. It's
It's not even for the fans. It's for the late great Irk Russell, which he should have been inducted while he was still alive. And this is also for him as the man, for him as the coach at Georgia Southern, and it's going to be great for his family to finally get the recognition that he deserves.
I'm all for it. Let's make it happen. I'm down. I'm along this ride with you. So, I mean, hey, it's gonna happen. I'm always about the positive outlook, manifesting, as we like to say on here.
Yes.
We're
Yeah.
manifesting Irk in the Hall of Fame. We're manifesting conference championships. We're manifesting 10-2. We're manifesting playoff, manifesting Heisman's, manifesting anything from rock bottom, which that was
Yeah.
my year last year.
Last thing I
So,
got for us, Cole, it's going to be tough for us to make it to some games this year. Obviously, I've got a newborn coming here literally any day now. Um,
yes, I'm
so
hoping August 4th is the day. We're hoping, fingers
yeah,
crossed.
yeah. So,
Uh, yeah.
I'm probably gonna miss the Georgia State game, which really, really stinks. Got a great friend bachelor trip probably being planned that weekend, so I can't miss that. So we're gonna find at least one game where we can get together and be in Statesboro for sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna do what I can. Being here, being back in, Tallahassee, I have the ability to go to the games here at Florida State. I have to help rectify the mess that was last season. Also, my little brother is in his senior year of football, so I'll have to make
Can't
trips
miss
back
that.
home.
Yeah,
Can't miss that. Senior night is fun fact. His senior night is against my grandfather's alma mater.
that's
Uh,
pretty cool, man.
that's going to be very cool.
Yeah.
He's my brother, and my plays, and my granddad goes to every game, and it's going to be very cool to see that,
If
dynamic.
Georgia
So I'm not
Southern's
missing.
looking for a tight end, I mean, we might know a guy.
He's got his heart set on. He's got his heart set on coming up here and following in my footsteps.
Hopefully
But
not
it's
fully following in
yeah,
your footsteps.
yes, yes. But we're gonna try and make it work. We're gonna check out our schedules. Like I said, we got a lot going on. I just started this new job. Is very hands-on. So my required to be here in Tallahassee. But we're gonna make it work. We're gonna bring it to you. Obviously, can't wait to meet my nephew. I'm really excited. He's gonna be my guy. And hopefully we share the same birthday. That is what the goal
Yeah.
is. Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
But
Like we
yeah,
said earlier, episode 51 is probably going to come out after week one. Cole, I know you're busy with work. I've got all hands on deck with work and a newborn. So, but we'll make it happen and we'll still, once football season starts, we'll still have one probably every
oh
season.
yeah, yeah, yeah. We're gonna work on that. I mean, I'm getting geared up. I'm thawing out the old headset and the menu. There's you know where to find me on college football Saturdays, especially here in Tallahassee. I'm gonna make it. I'm updating. I'll just leave it at this. I'm updating the fit. I'm modernizing it. I'm adding some new touches, and um, gonna I'm going to make sure that we rise up from the 2-10 and flip it on its head to go 10-2, just like the Georgia Southern
Yeah. Exactly.
Eagles, dude.
Yeah.
Can't
Just, yeah.
wait.
2-10
Hey,
season goes, 2-10 season. Next year we go 10-2. So,
I'd love to see you. Let's see, five seed versus 12 seed, maybe. That'd be fun. That'd be a game you'd have to come to because we'd be
yeah.
right here in at Doak Campbell. That'd
Nah,
be.
nah, nah. We be in Statesboro. You know how.
Whoa, time out, time out. you would be the 12, I would be the
Nope.
5, and you got to
Nope.
come down here. Okay, we'll
Boise
see.
State didn't get the 12.
I we'll see. We'll see. I mean, 8 and 9, I don't care. But
Hey, either way, man, to kind of wrap all things up, I am super fired up for football being back.
yes, yes, it feels good. It's the thing that's pushing me through work right now is to get to August 30th, and that's when I finally get my hands on Big Al and Kalen DeBoer myself. I'm gonna shove the menu right in their face. I can't wait, dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're
Hey,
gonna
I'm not making the trip to Cali, but it is what it is. I'm going to be listening to Danny Reed and Terry Harvin on the radio. I will say that.
I will be boots right here in the 850. I can't wait. So yeah, episode 50, man. It's been a lot of fun and looking forward to the next
Yeah.
episode. And hey, be on the lookout. We're gonna get something set up to where I make my way up to Houston County, and this man finally sees me swing a golf club. So we might have a little in-person content for you guys.
Yeah, we need to make that happen. I hate to break it to you. You're going to get your ass handed to you.
100%. We all know that I am just the beer guy and the vibes guy. I'm good for about a couple handful of shots,
Hey, I
you know.
shot I shot I shot 82 on Saturday, so I was pretty proud of that.
This guy shot last time I played shot 92. So we're just
Yeah.
10 strokes off, but we're gonna fix it. We'll have some fun. So hey man, it's right here. Football season, ready to go.
All right, brother. Well, I'll talk to you soon, and
Hey,
after
go
week one,
Noles.
we'll be back here.
Yeah, hey, go Noles.
Hey, hail Southern.
Yeah, damn right.
Yeah.